How do you want to do this?
Well, Russell, would you like to tell us all what it feels like to have made 1,500 videos?
Very, very tiring.
I mean, the thing that I find fascinating, like, it's a huge number. When we did some math earlier, it's like way beyond that 10,000 hours that supposedly brings you to like mastery level. So do you feel like a master of YouTube?
I feel like I'm a master of editing, but not necessarily YouTube. Otherwise, you would have way more subscribers. But I do feel like I have a grasp on, how to have a decent intro, keep people interested, how to tease out the story or interesting bits when we go to an event or talk to people at a shop visit or something. So I feel like I've got a better ear for story as we're filming, and I'm already like pre-editing in the process. So that's just to make it more streamlined.
Obviously it's changed a lot since you started making videos. So what have you learned in the process? Like how is it, because your style of making videos has changed. So how has that changed and how have you kept it interesting?
I feel like what YouTube rewards has changed. Definitely. I'm no longer making the same type of videos, generally speaking, that we did when we first started the channel, especially in the titles and thumbnails. I used to do like very literal like titles, and YouTube does not like that, or it gives people too much of an opportunity to self-select out. So it kind of it's forced all creators to be, I wouldn't say clickbaity, but to make their titles more enticing and generally themed. I've also, like, what's changed is like what's fun for me. Kind of reviewing a bunch of random gadgets all the time and making one specific video for that is not so much fun.
No?
Because I'm the bottleneck, and too many things stack up and I start to feel overwhelmed. So I kind of like this idea of compilation videos, and it's kind of the new hotness is a response to that. Like, how can I talk about new and interesting things without having to physically create individual videos about them, which takes forever and not everyone's going to watch. So creating that digest format. I guess another thing that's changed has been my focus on less production value and more of the storytelling and presentation. Like, I think when you first start out, you want to make it look as good as possible because that's kind of easy to control and learn. But like knowing what's a good topic or what's an interesting narrative is more difficult. So instead, my goal is no longer to make things look cinematic. I don't think it really ever was, but I'm trying to do the least amount of video production, but offer the greatest amount of value and information.
Do you feel like that is one of the ways that YouTube has changed over the years, that creators, that you don't have to care so much about the production value and what it looks like generally, that it's more about just this like constant churn of putting something out and less about creating a NBC worthy show?
Yeah, I think the taste of the audience has changed. I feel like people are generally more media savvy. Like most people, some people are generally more media savvy, and they can tell when something is overproduced. And what people like crave is like authenticity. They're tired of being lied to, of people like shilling things, and they want just like a normal person talking to them about something. I feel like that's always what I've wanted to do, and it's nice that my sensibilities have lined up with kind of the general taste. So that's a lot of videos are going to be more informal. I mean, the new hotness, it's literally like a screen share, right? That's what people want. It's easy, it's fun to produce, and I get to share cool things.
Yeah, so I think that we occupy this really interesting space of being bike industry adjacent, of being kind of sort of connected, but not really. What do you think? Like, is it interesting to be in the bike industry, but not really? Like enough in that you, seems to me at least, enough in the industry that you can just kind of call people up and be like, hey, do this, don't do that. I want to try this. But not so much that, you have to stay loyal to one somebody or another.
Yeah, I like having the flexibility. Like I totally don't envy anyone that's like in the industry, like starting a bike brand, running a bike shop. It's just a lot of industry headwinds, as they like to say at the moment. So it's kind of nice to be able to comment about it, but not have our entire like financial stakes at the whim of the bike industry. But it's also nice, like, since we're, I don't think, tied to a specific genre, well, kind of a genre, but we can pick and choose. Like I can, like, the reason why I've been able to make so many videos is we've got a style where I can follow my folly, what I'm authentically interested in.
Absolutely.
Rather than being, I'm a road cyclist or a gravel cyclist, and this is all I'm ever going to do. We've done like some weird things, right? We toured on Bromptons. We, went fly fishing on the bike. I've been painting on the bike, and these are all like kind of, authentic things that we do. And as my interests change, that's also the focus on the channel changes. That's why I'm like super into mini cargo bikes right now. So I think that's one key to the longevity is, there's the cardinal direction of bikes, but a lot of latitude to explore different avenues of bikes.
I think also a key to longevity has been that you've sort of landed in this, like, I don't know, this really interesting gray area between media and influencer, right?
I hate that word.
I know you do. But like, I wouldn't call us influencers in that traditional sort of typical influencer sense, right? Where you're like, selfie on the bridge or whatever. But also you're not like, cycling news or, whatever.
Yeah, we're not like a Bike Radar or like Bike Rumor where it's like, we're cycling journalists. Here's my little press tag. But also, like for me, like the influencer is such a loaded word, right? Like influencer sounds as if you're doing something specifically to influence people.
Yes.
Right? Like that's the primary motivation, and like, there's like a monetary incentive to do so.
It's a nicer way of saying manipulator.
Yeah. Like I feel like I'm more of an enthusiastic sharer of things. And like a lot of things we share, there's no, we don't enrich ourselves by sharing them. Like there's no like monetary incentive for us to talk about friction shifting or to do all these bike hacks or I don't know. Almost all the stuff I feature on the New Hotness, they have no idea that I'm mentioning them at all, So it's just, I think this is cool. You might like it too. So it's more of, I guess the way I see my role is like kind of filtering the things I'm interested in to a wider audience. That's a little bit more benign than like what an influencer does. I just feel like influencer, there's like a concerted effort to change opinions.
That's fair.
So,
but you have done some influencing,
I guess.
So thinking back to sort of the start of all of this and sort of like who we were, God, a decade ago, thinking about how you wanted to influence the bike industry, what are some of the things that you can maybe fully or kind of sort of take credit for?
Well, bike fishing for one, we made the hashtag a thing, and then there was, Blackburn did a series with it. It became used by a couple brands. I mean, Party Pace, for sure, we brought to cycling. People use it. Shimano used it in their marketing material. I've kind of, given that style of riding a vocabulary. I feel like the term alt bars, although I wasn't the first to use it, I feel like my constant use of it and alt cycling has helped make it a thing. I don't know, a bunch of random words. That's what I'm good at.
But I mean, beyond that, like I feel like, Russ of a decade ago was very much like, if I could plant something in the bike industry, this is what it would be.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel like you've done that?
In a very, very small corner of the bike industry, yes.
Congratulations, then.
Yay!
So I do have this memory, you probably have it also, of being at Clever Cycles a decade or more ago. I can't remember if we were filming or if we were just there for some reason. And there was this line of people around the block, and it was like parents. Parents and a bunch of like 10-year-olds.
Yeah, 11-year-old girls.
That were very excited because there was a famous YouTuber that was doing an event or something, and we all got a big kick out of it. How does it feel?
Yeah, you know who that YouTuber was, by the way? I think it was Logan Paul or some just like someone's become like a total trash fire like recently.
Now, I can't quite say that, you know, people are like waiting around the block with their kids to like meet you or their parents, whatever that would be, but
it's interesting. I mean, you know, again, like that stuff is like kind of a byproduct of sometimes the byproduct of the work, but it isn't like the motivation for why I do this, because that's a lot of hours for such a lame reason. Yeah, it's strange. It's fun.
Is it strange and an interesting sort of way to think back on mocking that
mocking Logan
that
Paul.
YouTuber, and now karma. Yeah. Well, all right. Maybe that's enough of me tormenting you, but I mean, to me, 1,500 videos is a huge accomplishment. Like, that's no small amount of effort that's gone in here, and I think that I notice it. I appreciate it. Hopefully, the close to 200,000 other folks that subscribe to the channel also appreciate that. So, I mean, do you feel like you've made 1,500 videos? Do you feel like it's been an accomplishment, not just this like lot of work that you've done?
Yeah, I feel like in some ways hitting that number of videos is more of an accomplishment than getting to 100,000 subscribers. Because I feel like you can get to 100,000 subscribers. You could get to 100,000 subscribers with like 5 videos or 1 video, like if you just hit it right. But like to have the staying power, you know, coming up with 1,500 ideas around bikes. And editing and filming, you know, there's, you know, if video editing, if YouTube was like the Dirty Kanza, I would have done the ultra version.
Are you out of video ideas yet?
No. I mean, I feel like there's some ideas I'm kind of less excited about these days. So it's a matter of like figuring out like what I still want to share.
And where is your folly leading?
I don't know, weirder and weirder bikes.
Is there anything weirder at this point?
I don't know, we'll see.
Okay.
All right.
Any last words of wisdom or anything else you want to?
A lot of those videos, vast majority of those videos would not be possible without your guys' support. I think on my 1,500th video, I named all the people, all the brands that sponsored the channel financially. And it was a very short list, not even 1% of the 1,500 videos.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah. So awesome. Thanks to you guys, team effort.
Yeah. We do really appreciate it. Hopefully these videos are interesting for you guys also. If there's ever anything that you want to know behind the scenes about the channel, bike stuff, Spain, any of it, just give us a shout.
Yep. And look for us soon in Portugal.
And Dusseldorf. If you're going to Cycling World, let us know.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Thanks, everybody. As always, keep the supple side down.